Hi, very good evening, everybody. This is Krishna Singh, your coach, mentors. So now it's the date, the moment. Tomorrow onwards, the situation test going to start, and you will be having a situation test in the next 3 days. Every day from here, we decided to come discuss with you all the plans. Now, followed by GDPI and rest of the exam is there. Today in this session, what specials are there? We are going to take a student question in last minute. We'll be going to talk about the very important part that is our write-up, what to do. So Ignite India expert will guide you, tell you about the write-up side, and Shruti ma'am has already joined. She is a NIFT Bangalore alumni teaching in Ignite India since last 7 years. She's associated from 2015 onwards. So apart from that, there's Rhea ma'am, Shruti ma'am, myself, Krishna, we are here. We will be guiding you in a flow, step by step, all this detail. Ma'am will give you the other example also, what need to take care in the last minute, last day of the exam. Make sure you follow this video, share this video with your friends. That's what I introduced you about it. What is the content of this video step by step, what we'll be having it today. So do share with your friends, do share in a groups so that maximum student can get the benefit of it. This is very relevant for all the student who is going to write the exam on this particular weekend. In fact, on Saturday, Sunday and Monday. So wish you all the best, my dear friends. I would like to welcome the Shruti ma'am here to continue this session. So over to you, Shruti ma'am. Let's start this discussion and let's have a good wishes for a student. Over to you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir. So now I'll be starting with the write-up part, students. When you are making a 3D model for situation test, you require to write about that model because you're not there to present to the person that this is my model and this is the area I've used these particular symbols in, or this is the basic theme behind it. So when you look at the model, in first look at, sometimes it's obvious what kind of theme you've gone for or what kind of idea you're trying to present through the kind of forms and the kind of symbols that you used over there. But sometimes when we're making products or we're making 3D models, these kind of details, they get so your execution might not be that great. So the examiner isn't able to understand what exactly you tried to do over there. Or if there is a feature, they can miss out on that feature if they're not looking at your write-up. Which is, so when you're writing this write-up, it's important that you mention all the important parts, including the techniques, including the theme you've taken, including why this particular option appealed to you, and if there is a story that you can relate to this particular thing, then you're going to talk about that as well. So basically, in a write-up, start with the topic, as in the topic would be the title of your write-up and title of your model. So if you've made a model, for example, an artist's room you're making, and then you can take inspiration from maybe a famous painter or a famous painting of that painter, or you can think about other interests that this painter can have. So maybe he is interested in natural things, so that is the inspiration where it can come from. Then try to relate that idea to the forms that you're presenting. So if you're taking something like The Blue Horses by Mark Franz. So when you're thinking about his painting, so think of how he uses those shapes, how he uses the idea of expressionism into his design. So when you're looking at that painting, he's trying to juxtapose the idea of the horse, like horses, but he's presenting the horses with much more smoother lines, smoother curves, which are not observed when you look at the structure of a horse in real life. So in expressionism, they usually use colors and forms which are not seen in day-to-day objects. So the sky would be pink or the mountains would be red. So you're looking at colors which are totally from a dreamland, totally from how the person is feeling or the kind of expression that they want to communicate. So when you think of that theme and you want to corroborate in your design and your write-up, you're going to pick out certain keywords. These keywords are going to be what is going to define how you've taken this theme, how you've translated it into your 3D model. So think about the colors that are being used in your inspiration. Think about the kind of materials or the kind of forms that are coming into your design. Then if you are inspired from this particular movement, you can go with, because the painting features primary colors mainly, and 2 of the secondary colors. So you can talk about how these colors are related to the feeling that he's going for. The horse represents freedom. The color blue represents the calmness. So he's trying to show that also through the forms that he's using. He could have used much more masculine forms, as in much more solid lines, much more sharper lines, but he's going with softer lines. So what he's trying to show during this representation of the horse is this is the time right before World War One. So he's trying to show that these animals, humans should observe them and learn from them. And we should be like them and not the war, and like we should propagate peace instead of such bad feelings. So taking that idea, you can title your theme according to that. You can use that blue motif. You can use the idea of the shape of the horse, or you can use the smoother shapes to make tables, to make working area or working spaces for this designer. That is the painter. So you're designing an artist's room. So you're going to use these colors over there. So when it comes to write up, you're first going to write the title that you've chosen. Then you're going to justify your choice of the question, as in you're going to talk about why this particular question appealed to you, or what is the reason that you've chosen to make an artist's room, or you've chosen to do another option. So after talking about why you chose it, you have to talk about the theme. So here you talk about what was your inspiration, how did you come up with this theme, and after mentioning the theme, connect it to the usage. So if you are making an artist room, why is it fit for an artist room? Then come next step would be talking about the interpretation that you see in your model. So when you're making maybe shelves in this area, or you're using canvases as well as the spaces where this person probably keeps their artworks. So you think of details over there. What different kinds of forms can you use over there? The kind of paintings that this painter might want to look at. Then there will be windows to the room outside if this person really likes natural light, because some painters like to work in natural light, some painters like to work under dark light. So, sorry, under darker conditions. So you have to think about this also, the lighting as well. Apart from that, talk about different fixtures that you have, or if there is a particular space in this design that you've made, there is a certain relevance to it where you want this person to sit and like here he gets inspired. So it will be a corner window with his table arranged over there. So try to think of making it more creative. You can put mood boards, or you can put themes that appeal to this person. You can put cutouts of different primary colors, and you can make this entire room in that particular theme of the painting that this person likes. So here we're taking example of the blue horse. So you'll use the colors blue, yellow, and red mainly, and a little bit of green. So to add those green elements, maybe you can add some plants in the visual, so that you can relate whatever you've said in your theme to what you've made. Then finally, coming to the features or highlights that you add in your project. So do mention if there is any feature which is new, or if there is any feature which is going to make this space easier to access, or it is going to make it more effective or different. So this is where you talk about the highlight of your project. You talk about the features of your project. After that, you directly come to mentioning of materials and techniques. How innovatively you use this material, and what kinds of techniques have you utilized in making these pieces. So if it's a space design, you will talk about sections. If it is a model, then you can talk about parts of the model where you use different techniques. Conclude with how this particular product or space you've made for the client or the user, or the presented question that they have. So they have specific, like any specific details. So it is for a tea vendor, and you're going to go into that direction only. You're not going to assume things on your own, and you'll think of a theme that maybe fits into that kind of a setting. So that is it for the write-up. It should finish in about 120 words. So keep in keywords when you're starting to make your model, and drawing on to those keywords when you're writing the write-up is the suggested method. Also, do take time to write your write-up. Don't write it in a hurry. Don't just do it haphazardly in the last 5 minutes. Because what it will end up doing is you might make an amazing project, But because you've not taken your time to explain it, the examiner isn't able to understand it. So all of your hard work goes to waste. So please do take your time to write this write-up. Avoid grammatical mistakes if you can. If that is like, be confident about your idea, as well as do not worry if you do not know a lot of heavy words in English, or you can't think of complex sentence forms. That's not required. All you're doing is showing what different symbols have been taken from this idea that you had, or the theme that you have, and finally putting it to what kind of techniques did you think were applicable, and finally whether this is relevant to the person you made to for, or it has any features that would make this a better product or a better space design. Okay. Thank you so much, guys. I hope your paper goes well. Now we are going to proceed to the question answers for this session. So if you have any questions that you want to ask regarding the situation test, any last minute tips, Priya ma'am is here with me now.
Hello guys. How do we get to know what all questions we are getting over here?
You'll just ask.
All right.
Ma'am, you're not audible.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was on
We're
me.
also live on YouTube. So if you have any questions, people who are not available to us via Zoom, they can ask their questions on YouTube comment section. Or in general, if you have our students who whatever questions they have for tomorrow, day after, please shoot at us right now. Mounting board allowed. So there's this person, she's asking, is mounting board allowed? You will already be provided with a proper table to work for your models, and you don't have to get any materials with you in general. Only scissors, tapes, or very basic things like that. Isn't it?
They've given a list of material, and anything apart from that, you need to make sure to ask your examiner before you take it into your exam. Because if you're found with anything which is not allowed, even a piece of paper, even a piece of mounting board, then you're going to be disqualified. So it's better, whatever you're taking, even if it's a sandpaper, do confirm if it's not in the list. So they provided you a list with your admit card. Look at that, and then your answers will be like clear over there.
We
That
can
is
actually carry cutting mat, right?
you can carry cutting mat, I think, but just confirm with them, because like I'm sure like they wouldn't want you to destroy.
Yeah, so like cutting mat, tweezers. I had these few things which I wanted to ask. Cutting mat, tweezers, toothpick. So they can
So the
to
thing
make
is,
like hole somewhere in the sheet and all.
just ask them, because like if they want you to use toothpicks in any model making, also
They will
provide
provide it, yeah.
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 Somebody is asking which type of clothes we are allowed to wear. Please wear anything very comfortable, as comfortable as possible. There's nothing, no allowance or disallowance to any sort of clothing. But just for your ease, for example, you're working with your model, try to wear something with short sleeves so that your glue doesn't stick to your body or your clothes or gets messier around the table. So something that's not too flowy, not too loose, and yeah, try to avoid long sleeves. Yeah, that's one thing.
Also, wear clothes you can dirty. You don't have to think about wearing fancy clothes. You're not
Yeah.
impressing anyone during the situation test.
Nobody is gonna see you
Yeah.
dressed up or something.
So just save that for the first day of college. For now, just wear whatever you think you can work the best in. And if you have to sit on the floor also, then you can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be very comfortable.
Don't wear your expensive denims and everything on which, like, if a Fevicol drop falls, then you regret it.
Okay, cap and all, like there's no particular dressing thing for the entrance exam. I don't really understand why would you need a cap, but if something's related to your medical needs, then you can wear it, and if the invigilator asks you to remove it, then you can keep it on the table. Something like that, which might have problem with the faculties, they'll ask you to remove it then and there, and they'll keep it on their table, so you don't have to worry about accessories or something like that. One person asking if we can add sketches in our write-up. Shruti ma'am, please.
A tiny rough sketch can be included in your write-up along with, just a tiny sketch of it. Don't have to go much detail about it. Okay? But it's not necessary if your model is explanatory enough. If your model has like you think it's not clear, it's not come out as you wanted it to be, then add a tiny sketch. If you need to label areas, maybe. Yeah. Then you can add it.
Like a diagram or something.
But
like
it's
that.
suggested that you don't draw it. You show it through your model itself first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
Nena, you have a question?
Cooling needle.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
I was asking, like, do we get a separate rough sheet for like drawing like the concept and for ideation before we start? So where do we do that?
Nothing extra has to be there. Even a tiny piece of paper can hamper your chances.
No. Like, will they give us like sheet to draw?
They give you to manage within that. Even if it's one paper for write-up, they've given, do your rough sketch in the back of it.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
We can do it behind the write-up paper.
Within your kit, you will get at least 7 to 8 different kinds of sheets, right? You might not need each and every type of sheet in your model. So when you already decide, okay, these are the materials that I'm going to use in my model and I have left over paper or something like that, you can do your writings in that. That's it.
No, Mama, I asked that the initial, like when I'm planning after seeing the question, that thing, I don't even know what I'm going to use, right?
The back of the sheet only if you need to. Or like in a corner of one extra sheet that you can take and you can do that planning on that. So just use scraps of those things. Okay.
And we can leave that there only, right?
You
like
can leave
to show how we
the
have planned it.
ideation if you have, you can leave it on the side or like under your main sheet of paper.
Okay, ma'am.
Somebody is asking, ma'am, can we name our model like a character or something like that?
Definitely. If your model is related to something like a mascot or something like that, then you're drawing inspiration from that particular thing, like a mythological character or something like that, then you can use that. But not like this. So if you're making something, don't name it Harry Potter or something like that. So something that already exists that you might not want to use. Okay, so try to create your own ideas, try to create your own character names if you can. So if it is a bad character, maybe you can think of something like Mr. Fudgy, or if it's so think about adjectives and then relate them to one feeling. That way you can get a really nice title for any one.
Also, Shrishti is asking if she can carry a cooling needle.
No, dear, you cannot carry a cooling needle. What you can do is maybe the toothpick they're giving, you can use that to roll your things over it. Or like even a pencil refill you can use. Right?
For cooling.
Yeah, that
anything cylindrical.
But do not carry separate materials which are not mentioned.
It won't be allowed. They will check your kit before you're entering the exam center, and anything that's not recommended, they'll ask you to take it out.
Something creatively, maybe a pen's cap because it has one area where you can stop it, the quilling paper, and then you can go around it if you want. Like different things you can try before the exam. Don't start like experimenting right in the exam. So if you're planning to use a refill or you're planning to use something like that to roll these things, the newspaper rolls or even your quilling sheets, then try that.
Also,
Fevicol as such is allowed, Nitika, but you cannot bring other materials. So Fevicol, if you're keeping, do make sure that the examiner sees that you have it before you are entering the exam hall.
Yeah. Which type of paper will we get for write-up, lining, plain sheet? Plain sheet. They generally give plain sheet.
They generally give you a plain sheet, so it's suggested that you don't write diagonally. You try to make it as straight as possible, like as straight as possible. If you're writing tends to get a little here or there, that's okay, but try to write straight. That's all.
Carry your materials in a see-through pouch. There are many transparent white colored pouches, file keepers. You can keep your
My clear bag also you can use for that. So you find that for like 20 rupees or something at a close by stationery store. If you don't have it, then you can carry it in a maybe
poly bag.
A poly bag.
See-through. It has to be see-through.
So just don't give them a chance to doubt. That's all.
Yeah. And so,
yes, you can carry a cutting mat, but make sure that the examiner has seen it, that you have it.
We don't need to use every type of material provided. NATA from YouTube, no.
It's not suggested to use very quick, and you're not, like ma'am said.
Yeah, there's a question we got in NATA from YouTube. We don't need to use all the materials that have been given to you in your situation test kit. That has been given to you because there are 3 questions and there are n number of material. You can explore with whatever you are most comfortable with, the thing that you have practiced with a lot, and you think that that particular material is really going with the theme of your question. So all things you have to keep in mind. It's never ever suggested to use all the materials because it will be a clash. It will be a clash of textures. It will be a clash of things, and it doesn't look good at all. It doesn't feel like you've actually put thought behind your product, and you're just putting everything you have got in there. That's not a smart way to go through it. Yeah. Also, there's this question. Ma'am, can we bring needle? No needle is allowed inside, no sort of needle. They won't. You cannot use anything that they have not asked you to. Simple as that. So please don't have questions, random questions like, can we use paper or something? It's very simple. They have given you some basic list of things like glue, like scissors. This is very basic. Rest of the fancy items or decorative items that you have to use it in your, so they are giving you this set of materials so that they can judge each and every student on the same level of materials that they've got. If you're getting something more from your own side, that will actually hamper your model, and they will question that this was not given by us. So you will directly get disqualified. There's no other thought behind it. Don't try to figure out try to take things which are not mentioned in that list at all.
Because to make boundaries or detailing with marker pens. Okay, so pens are frowned upon. You can use cutouts of your paper, thin cutout of a paper you can use for the same thing. Why would you need to do a pen thing, right? And it'll look much better on the box. So try to do everything that you have to do using the material they've given. You can use a thread also, and you can probably put it as a border. Think of how you can experiment with the material they gave.
Yeah. Also, this one girl is asking, can we use tissue paper with us because your hands sweat a lot? You are allowed to take handkerchief with you. Any hanky, water bottle, you are allowed to take those things with you because this exam is going to take you 2 to 3 hours in general. Like you sit in the center for half an hour, you will fill up your question paper. 2 hours, you will have your time to put it. So please take handkerchief, because also when you are working with your models, there will be glue around the place. You need something to wipe your products with. The excess glue, try to use scales, try to spread it every time. You know, these skills, like students have been asking how to speed up your product making levels, like how to speed your small things. So all these things, while you are working with your glue, while you're drawing your lines, these things only will save your time.
Exactly. Be like fast, like instead of drawing a triangle every time, you can, like, if you do not require a certain size of a triangle, then you can just cut the side of the paper and you'll have 4 equally sized triangles. Same way, if you need cubes or squares or anything like that, you can cut the sheet thrice and you'll have 3 cubes. So think of easy ways. You're carrying a tape or anything like that, you can use that or bottles base to make your circles instead of using a compass and wasting your time over there. So be fast about these things and just be smart. That's all. It's not about the decoration. It's not about how much effort is gone into it. It's all about smart work, clean work, and that's it. And with a
But
theme.
you're allowed to bring a compass, are you?
You're allowed to bring a compass.
Okay, that's
You're allowed to bring a compass, ruler, that you can.
Yeah, basic stationery like a
Yeah.
geometry kit and all, you are allowed to do that. And also people asking that if they can carry needle and all, your compass itself is a needle if you're talking about like thinking like that. So think of smart ways to inculcate like the things that you need to do over there. If you need something very sharp and pointy like a needle, but you can't take a needle, use compass, use your straws, use your toothpicks and all. So try to find out different ways to get through the same solution that you really need over there. And also, one person is asking where there be place as examination center where you can put your extra materials. Take one extra bag with you. So what they ask you to do is all your phones, because you will be carrying your cell phones with you or rest of the things. So half of the items you keep it inside your bag, and the transparent bag that you have carried your things in with you, you take it inside the center. Rest of the things will be kept outside the center.
So you can just take your water bottle maybe inside, but other than and the hanky. So these three things should be the only things that you have on you in person. Okay.
So right at the entrance of your center, there will be a place designated for all the students to keep their bags who have not come with their parents, because a lot of people struggle with like they might lose their things or something. People generally don't lose their things. If you're bringing your cell phone or something like that, keep it in your bag safely. Just keep your bag in a place where it's not mixed up with a lot of other bags, and you don't have the idea of like somebody else mistaking your bag as theirs, and some kind of mishappening that happened at the situation test center. So yeah, try to have a tag within your bag or write your name or number, just in case you have that kind of issues, or if you're anxious about it.
Okay. Vertika says, how big would our workspace be and would we have to clean up within the 2 hours as well? So Vertika, the thing is that your space is going to be almost a small table size workspace, and like you can even have like lesser or more than that, but that is the average size that you're expecting. And you do need to clean up when you're done with your module. So do make sure there are no like extra things lying around, or like the paper cuttings you made, or like extra thermocol balls, rubber bands, etc. Because that gives a very bad impression. So they're going to judge you on that as well. So do make sure you clean up even from the. So if you're working on a table, I'm assuming like around you there will be a lot of material. So do make sure to put all that in the dustbin. And out of the choices given to us, how do we choose which one to make? Whichever you have the best idea for or the most innovative idea for. Number two thing that is important is look at the colors you have, look at the material you have. That material can it be utilized better for some other question or this particular question. If you cannot develop a particular theme according to those colors, then maybe for another question you can have a better theme with those same colors. So think logically and deduct your answers according to that.
like following up that question. Usually when I see these options, I'm like always conflicted between the two because I feel like I have equally good ideas for both, but I just don't know which one to go forward with. So I thought like the next logical step could be to think about time, like which one takes the least time. But I don't know if that would also make sense because maybe something that I invest a little more work into would look better.
No, it's not necessary that if you put more work into it, it has to look better. Sometimes, like you can think of themes where like you have corroborative elements, which is making it look nicer. So it's not important that if you are taking lesser time to make a model, it will be looking worse than the other model that you thought of. Think of the most innovative idea that you had amongst those. Think of the idea that you've not probably seen anywhere. Okay, and it is making sense to the particular customer that you're catering with or the space that you're talking about. Okay. Thank you, Latika. And we have Mridul, on an average, how many materials or kind of materials will they give us? So I'm pretty sure that you went through different questions, test questions. In those, you remember how the material list was given. So like about 6 ice cream sticks, then 8 toothpicks, then these many sheets of pastel paper, and 2 ivory sheets, then 1 OHP sheet, a little bit of cotton fabric. Depending on the kind of model they're giving, they usually give you this material. So if they want you to make a doll, they'll sometimes give you cotton and fabric. If they want you to make something like a space, they'll give you something like a mouthboard or thermocol. So they will give some material which will be relative to that particular topic that you're taking, and the other material which will be common for all of the other topics. So your material has, like, first you look at your material and then you decide what is the option I'm going to look at.
About
There is
cleaning
going to be a bin, essentially.
So your excess material, they will give you in a packed transparent sheet. So excess material, you keep it back in the sheet, and the small cuts and bits and pieces that you're like the waste material that you've got after making your model, you can just put it in the dustbin within one go. It won't take you more than a minute to clear that table.
Also, Shruti, when you're talking about the floor area, if don't dirty the floor area if it's possible. Okay. And if there are like tiny pieces left over there and you are running out of time, you don't have the time to clean up, tiny pieces are okay to leave if you do not have time. But otherwise, make sure that you're cleaning it.
Yeah,
Whatever you can.
Cleaning you should do after like your timing is done. Your write up when they tell you, okay, stop now. You
Then
can't
you
do
start
anything to your model. Then you start cleaning. So you don't have to worry about spending that cleaning time within 2 hours of your model making time, right? One person is asking on YouTube if sellotape cutting machine is allowed.
Sellotape cutting machine is so that comes with the sellotape itself, right? So that if it is that particular design that you're talking about, I'm assuming. So if it is that design, then it's allowed.
Yeah.
Scotch tape she's talking about, right?
Yeah. They won't be providing you any extra rough sheet at all. There'll just be one question paper, one answer sheet, and one kit which you have to use in the best way possible. Because if you need rough sheet for your write-up or practice of your sketch of a model or something, you have to use it from what's given in your kit. You won't be given extra sheets, so don't even think about it. You have to use the sheets given in the kit. That's it.
You can use the back of your write-up paper for rough work and ideation if you need, but like be like sure that you're not just going and like doodling random things that they cannot understand at all.
Yeah.
So at least make it a little clear if you're using the back of your write-up sheet.
Yeah.
If you're using a separate paper, then you can probably use your rough lines and all of that. That's fine.
Also, one very important thing, because we have seen this, like students have faced this earlier, don't ever write your name anywhere, even by mistake. For example, there was this one girl who tried to make a character, and the name of the character, actually she gave her own name for the name of the character of the sketch that she was drawing, and she got disqualified for that. So even within your content, don't try to put any name, because any identifiable name or any like name that might think that give a suggestion or an idea that you're trying to put your name into the answer sheet or even in your model. No writing has to be done. Please take care of that. That will like direct you to disqualification directly. So yeah.
I again suggest, like, even when you require to write something in your model, use cutouts, use paper cutouts, or any other element. Maybe like you can use thread and write like those continuous loops of words you must have seen, right? So depending on the material, try to use it innovatively. Maybe cutting toothpicks and making words with that. It's your creativity in the end.
Yeah.
But these things are to be avoided. Writing on the model or writing about the model anywhere else.
Yeah. Shivam is asking if there will be one question with 3 options or 3 questions with 3 options. That's a very confusing question.
What?
Will there be one question with 3 options or 3?
There'll be 2 questions with the options. We're not sure how many options. There can be 2 options also in each question. There can be 3 options also in each question, but there'll be 2 questions according to the new.
You can you bring color pencils?
You cannot bring color pencils.
No.
You cannot add anything else that they do not give in the set.
Please, we are trying to focus on this, guys. When you are talking about different kind of materials, please don't think about taking anything fancy or anything that's not written in your list. Please try to work out with things that are already within the list, and you will have like more than what you need for doing that model. So don't panic right now thinking about, oh, what if I won't be able to carry this with me over there. Right now, think, because you already have an idea, okay, this is the basic minimum things that I'm gonna get. What is the maximum output I can get out of those materials? So try to think about that right now. Okay?
Arshia, in the question paper, there will be a space for the name. No space for the name. They'll ask for your roll number on the admit card and all of those details that you have in your admit card or anything like that. So depending on what they're asking you to put there, put only those details. Don't add anything extra. Okay. Then it comes to what will be the size of the mount board, A4. It depends on them. If they want to give you A4, they'll give you A4. If they think only like this much, which is not A4, smaller than A4, even like sometimes they don't even give A5, like depending on the size, square size they give. So they can give any size of it according to their choice, according to the kind of model. We'll be having 1 model per question, so we have to make 2 more. No, you do not have to make 2 models. You have to make only 1 model. Only 1 model has to be done in this paper. This question keeps coming. In 2 hours, 1 model, 1 write-up, and that's it. Okay.
So regardless of how many questions and how many options, you have to just pick one topic that they provide you
One
with.
topic, no matter how many options, how many questions are there, only 1 question you're going to attempt. Okay.
Yeah, it will be clearly written in the language of the question. They will say and or. So and means you have to solve both.
Which is never there.
Yeah, which is never there. Or means try to do one of this. So try to understand the language of the question as well. Give a minute to yourself to actually jot down each and every point from the question, and then think which one is the best for you, for your skill levels.
I know. Why do you want to carry band-aids?
Ma'am, while handling cutter, often at times it has happened that, I have cut my finger. So, it would dirty the model in case it happens in the exams. So, I don't.
Then you can tell the examiner, and the examiner is going to give you band-aids. They will be having all of those. Okay?
They
Medical kit
always
they
have first aid kit and exam time, so anything you are.
So don't worry about that. No. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
You can carry steel scale with you. Any transparent or steel, there's no regulation for that. You can carry any of that. It is also allowed to bring an analog watch, not digital watch. Yes, get your band-aid. Okay, Vijayendra sir's comment is here. Please get your band-aid with you if you need it. Don't, all right. Okay, that's Vijayendra sir's comment.
Okay, so Archie asked in write-up, should we have to write question number and option also? Archie, do not write question number, option or anything like that. But you have to explain why did you choose this option? Is there a story that you have regarding this, or was there an observation you made regarding like these school children? That's why you've given this particular space in the school area or anything like that. Think about observations and think about things you've observed or anything that you can relate to that, but don't force a story. Don't force this particular part of the question. If you want to go directly to the theme, you can talk about, okay, the model I've designed is this, and this is the idea behind it or the inspiration behind it. Then you directly come to how you put that idea to the fore, and material list, and then finally techniques, and then to, like, in the end, just conclude with 1 line, which will give you an overall theme or overall feel that you were going with, or if there was a feature that is going to enhance the experience, talk about that. Okay, that's it.
Also, Neha Agrawal from YouTube, we don't need, it's not mandatory to get a cutting mat with you. It's just for your own ease. Not everybody has a cutting mat at their place. So you just have to be careful while cutting your sheets and all. Don't worry about if you don't have that, don't panic about it right now. It's not a necessity at all. It just helps you to cut your
properly.
edges neatly and properly.
Because like their tables might not be the perfect space for cutting on this material.
That's it. That's it. That's it. Yeah. Any more questions, guys? I guess we have covered up pretty much everything over here.
Last 5 minutes, guys. If you have any questions, please ask. We're gonna conclude at 7:30. The question round.
Miss,
Digital watches, as much as I remember,
But
have
not allowed.
not. They're not
Analog
allowed.
watches are not allowed.
No,
You can-
analog is allowed.
Analog,
Digital
okay,
is not.
analog. Sorry, my bad. Analog watches are allowed. Digital watches are not.
Yeah.
So you can have the normal spoke ones. That is the only one, the normal older version that you see.
Good evening, ma'am.
Okay. Good
Hi.
evening, Suragi.
Ma'am, is it allowed to take a small piece of toothpick or
No,
nothing?
nothing extra. If it is in the list, you can take it. If it's not in the list, do ask the examiner about things, but don't even try to ask about things like toothpicks or anything like that. Okay?
Ma'am, a broken ice cream stick also we can't take?
No, nothing extra.
Okay,
These
ma'am.
are extra items. Why would you want to take
If they're giving it to you in one of the kits and you're taking one extra, imagine like everybody's working with 5 ice cream sticks or 6 ice cream sticks, and you're working with 6.5. So you have an upper hand, no? So they don't want that.
If they find it out, they will disqualify you.
So why risk it over like half an ice cream stick?
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
Yeah.
Just use maybe like 2 scale carry कर लो, एक scale से फेविकॉल लगा लेना अगर तुम्हें सिर्फ फेविकॉल लगाना है कुछ ऐसे करना है तो
That's what.
stationery extra carry कर लो. Okay.
Yeah.
Ma'am, while cutting the mount board will be break. It can break if you're not careful.
Ma'am,
Sharp cutter you to use always. Yeah.
not this one also, like this one.
No, Suhagi, no. You're using it for clay modeling award.
Ma'am, clay.
Clay तो अपनी काट अपनी उधर काट लेना ना उधर कुछ भी ऐसे.
They will give you.
नहीं तो पेन का रिफिल यूज कर लो टूथपिक जहाँ पे यूज कर रहे हो.
Pen caps you've seen,
जो
right?
पेन नहीं चलता है वो पेन लेके चले जाओ एक.
Okay, ma'am.
है ना?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Pen caps have similar kind of angle that you want.
That
A
also
curved,
you can.
semi-curved angle they have. So you can break it and use it. Then and there.
Let's be creative and
Yeah.
let's try to work with the material they've allowed, but we're gonna show them that there are 10 multiple ways to use those things also. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
What is this? Mountboard will be break.
What she means is, will the mount board break if we are not cutting it properly?
Yes,
So mount
obviously.
board will, so you have to make sure that your cutter is always sharp edged. If you like are not aware, some people are not aware. So there is the back of the cutter that you can always use to slice off those edges so that you can come to the next section of the cutter. Okay, so if it gets blunt during the exam also, you can just cut one of them and use the next one for sharper edges. So if you are putting enough pressure, then the mount board won't break. If you're not putting enough pressure and you're just slicing through it like that, it will break. Any other doubts?
One person, Neha, is asking, can we take different types of Fevicol? Fevi-stick is allowed. You can take
SH is also
Yeah,
allowed.
SH is allowed. Fevi-quick, I'm not sure about it.
So don't take it without permission.
Like you can take it, carry with you to the center, and then in there, if they ask you to remove it, then you can remove it. Okay, like Fevicol is one thing. There are a number of types. There's Fevibond is there, 743 is there. So they have not really specified what kind of bonding material you can use, but you can take it with you. Yeah.
So basically what you can do is before like you're starting the paper or sitting for your exam or anything like that, you can just take 2 pouches before entering the exam hall also. The ones that you have doubt with, you can just ask the right time. Hi, Kshitij.
And for applying acids, we often need those toothpick or ice cream sticks. So we can't use that also for that also.
You cannot use them. If to apply anything, you cannot use any of the extra material. What you can do is, like I said, use a pen that does not work, use a pencil that does not work, or like there are flat pencils also, no, that you can carry. No, you can carry that. Or even like a scales bag, a plastic scales bag would work, na, perfectly.
Okay.
Yeah, this tweezers you cannot carry. It is a tweezer, na, Sumagi?
Yes, ma'am.
हाँ तो ट्वीजर अगर लिस्ट में दिया है तो ही लेके जा सकते हैं, ठीक है?
ये तो मटेरियल में यूज नहीं होगा ना?
नहीं होगा, बट टूल्स भी वही लेके जा सकते हैं जो एडमिट कार्ड में डाले हैं, है ना? आप क्यों नहीं? I'm telling you, flyer and all you cannot carry. See, like we're saying again and again, whatever is written in the admit card is the only thing you're allowed to take. Rest of it, if you want to ask them, toothpick, if you're going to ask, they're gonna say no. Tweezer, if you're gonna ask, they're gonna say no. If you're gonna ask for all of these things that are coming forward to us, all of these things won't be allowed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fevicol is something that
is doubtful. Yeah. So you can ask them whether you can use this particular one or not.
Ma'am, double sellotape also we can't take.
DST you cannot take. You can use tape and roll it and then paste it and use it like DST. So use your creativity in materials.
See, the thing, everyone that's online right now, the thing that we are trying to put across over here is, if you take extra tools or extra materials with you, you're having more advantage of solving that paper, which the jury members do not want you to have. So anything extra you will take with you can lead you to a disqualification.
And why would you want to do that when you passed one stage with flying colors and you're going towards the second stage, which will decide your rank, right? So use whatever they've told you to use and make better models than anybody around you because you've practiced so much.
Yeah, there's already so much you can do with all your geometry boxes, with scale. Like you want to use these things as your tools. You use the geometry box, you use the sharp edges of your scales.
Yes.
Yeah, you can use your daily items uniquely to make anything. If you want to do clay modeling, if you want to tie a rope around something, you have it all in front of you. You just need to use it wisely. That's it.
Also, you can look at your material list, and in the material list, you'll have certain things which you can use an extra. अगर उन्होंने ice cream stick दे दी, ठीक है? अब ice cream stick आप उसमें से एक use कर लो, आधी use कर लो for your pasting cutting if you are not able to use the scale or anything like that. Okay? तो वो luck के ऊपर है. Depends like whether they'll give you that particular question or not. But don't risk it. Is all me and Ria ma'am are trying to say here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so time is almost over here. Two questions we have got: what kind of things we should wear, and how to conclude write-up. We have already covered that in the beginning of this video. This video will be saved in Ignite India channel, so you can go back again if you want answers to all of those questions. Compass is allowed, your geometry kit is allowed. So all the right angle scales and your isometric scales, all of those kind of scales are allowed.
Set squares or not. Yeah. How to not get distracted with everyone working in the same room. So this is one question. This is one question that you have to answer for yourself. Like, what is that will make you focus over there? Clay tool is not allowed, Kshitij. Okay. Anyhow, coming back to the question Vartika has posed, Vartika, everybody would be working on their things, but like if you see someone, you have your planning time. If you see someone who's already started working on their model, it's possible either they've done that particular model beforehand once,
they've practiced their topic,
or it's also possible that they have nothing in their brain about it.
Yeah.
Okay. So they're just winging it. So do not wing it. Don't get annoyed by everybody being so much ahead than you and all of that. Focus on what you're doing. Yeah. Like I would say, you're not allowed to do that, but the horse thingy, there is this, no? Like one single tunnel vision. That is what you should have. You should have like straight vision at your model at all times. Whenever you feel like you are not doing good, or people around you are doing great, just believe that your theme is strong and that you've chosen that option which you can do your best in. they'll get different ranks. You will get different ranks. It's possible that everybody in that room will get good ranks and will get into different kinds of NIFTs. So don't worry about that. Okay, don't worry about any of distractions.
Yeah. Also, you can have this psychology that you just have like 2 hours to prove this, right?
Yeah.
If you literally spend any minute
10 minutes
within
looking around.
yeah, then it's like you're already doing bad over there. Not even the minute thinking about what anybody else is doing. See, within that 2 hours, you guys have practiced enough that how much time you have to give for each and every part, right? For thinking, for studying the question, for preparing and planning, everything you have given some amount of minutes to each and every task. Now, within those tasks, you won't even have time sometimes to drink water. Drinking water is something you do to cool your mind, to cool yourself, right? If you're getting very exhaustive thoughts, try to calm down, drink water, try to
Deep
have
breaths.
deep breaths.
Deep
All
breaths.
of these things will actually, meditation skills actually help you down to calm your thoughts at that very moment. Getting overwhelmed by other people's speed and all of those things is very lateral. First is to have focus on your mind and your okay, I've got these 3 questions. I know my skill level. You start thinking about your things that you have already done, your themes that you have already practiced, where and what all is the best you can apply over there in that question paper. Think about that. Don't even think about seeing around, because that will be overwhelming for sure. Everybody is having amazing level of talent, right?
Yeah.
Everybody will be doing something very different. And if you see that and if you get like overwhelmed, oh my God, I don't know that, then you're wasting your time at that point.
What they are possibly doing is doing the technique that they are best at. So
Yeah.
you should also do the techniques that you are best at, right?
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind, and please do not worry, because I believe in your ability. Okay. So please believe in your ability too. Otherwise, nothing will happen. Okay. So all the best, guys, and
Yeah.
I know all of you will pass with like flying colors, get
Thank you
great ranks.
so much,
Yes,
ma'am.
yes. All the best, guys. Kshitij, you have a question?
Thank you.
Thank you, Kshitij. Thank
No,
you
ma'am.
for working on these models with us. We're so excited for the exam, because now we'll actually get to see the result of all of this hard work that you've been doing for so long. Okay.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Cool. Thank you so much, everyone.
Everybody, thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
ma'am.
you,
All
ma'am.
the best.
Ma'am, thank you
Bye,
so
ma'am.
much.
Thank you, Deekshita. And
Thank
all
you,
the
ma'am.
best, everybody. I'll see you outside NIFT tomorrow. If you are coming here to give the exam near the Bangalore branch, then I'll be here. And if in the morning you have any doubts, you can ask. But I would suggest please don't keep the doubts for the morning. You can text me now. I'll take text till 9 today, because like special day. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Also, people on YouTube, you can comment your doubts. You can call us. We have given a number in the comment section. Any doubts you have, you can call us at any time today. It's not a problem.
20 to 25 minutes, Hari Karthik, you should take for your write-up, definitely. Because write-up is basically someone who is going to present your work when you're not there.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Okay,
So
guys.
now we're concluding this session. Thank you so much, guys. All the best. See
Thank you,
you.
ma'am.
Thank you. All the best, guys.
Thank you,
Bye.
ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye, ma'am.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Excuse me, ma'am.